Hello and welcome to Opinions Plus. I don't usually do two clips so close together. I just published one about change and fear, and it's time to be afraid, I think, because it's getting closer and people are not fulfilling their obligations, their abilities to stand up and really educate and teach and guide people to what is right, what is reasonably right and wrong. And there's an illness, a sickness, an evil influence that's being spread across the society. And this last Supreme Court decision on immunity shows part of it. It's not the entire thing. There's no one thing in a society. The society is built on millions and millions of bricks and people and attitudes and whatnot. It isn't simple or easy to articulate or define. So, what am I concerned about with this last effort by the Supreme Court? The Supreme Court has taken a partisan view of what has been um, for hundreds of years the perception that the executive branch is for the people, is for decent people to stand in place of and executize and enforce the laws, protection of the United States and the legislature. And yet, here these people in the Supreme Court, due to their partisan wonk, their religious fervor, whatever the heck it is, has taken upon themselves as being the final court, the final say of the land, to say a man like Trump, who caused an insurrection, cannot be held accountable if his actions were done as official actions of the President of the United States. Immunity. Just that way. Just that simple. Now, everything in this life is complicated. There's no simple, straightforward, one-word answer that I know of. But that's why I've been promoting and trying to force, if it will, going to the good, keeping hope alive, because you want to do these things for the benefit of the society in which you live in. Will you survive? Yes. Do you survive in a way that you think is appropriate? Maybe not. To some people, they think this is the way to go, apparently. And they have their reasons why. In this last clip I did, there is influences out there, influencers out there, people with power and money. But I always go back to the one thing. They are just people. There is nothing special about them, except they have a boatload of money and other people listen to them. And therefore, when other people listen to them, there's power behind it. There's a force behind it. And that is a problem. There's no easy answer to all this. This void, void of consciousness, this void of really what is trying to make America a more open place in which it was founded. Now remember, the founding fathers, they were not super beings. They were people. Men, men, just like any man. They had their flaws. Ben Franklin had his flaws. Jefferson had his flaws. There's no easy approach to it. Some people say they were sent by God to what? Create the Constitution, which is now being torn down by one of the three branches of government which is sworn to support it. But words can be minced. Words can be spun. Words are just words. It's what comes from the heart that matters. It's why people died for the flag that matters. Not just because people die for all flags. They died for German flags and Italian flags and World War II and World War I for Turkish flags, and they just die for flags because it's their nationality, it's their home, it's their country. They believe in it. They believe in it. And we had a constitution that we believed in and fought for. And now it's being attacked in every way, shape, or form. Once you start this attack, it doesn't stop. There's no ending of it. You start to spin, you start to twist, and to support your own methodology, your own cause, your own purpose, your own desire, your goals. You mince the words. But there's a truth behind the Constitution. There's a truth behind the amendments. There's a reason why there was a limit on presidential power put in after Roosevelt served so many terms. They had to stop that. They found that, even though he was a benevolent man, he could have, if he had lived, become a dictator. Just like George Washington could have become a king. But he didn't. And now we have a man who doesn't mince words, says, yes, I am going to become what I want to be. I want to rule. But he is not only he doing it. There's a lot of things going around that he, and they're not for you. He's not for you, but those people believe in him, and what are you going to do? But there's no policy, there's nothing. Supreme Court is changing the whole way the Supreme Court had abided by its ethics, its standards previously. Was there corruption in the Supreme Court before? Of course. I brought it in a clip a long time ago about the Supreme Court in the Civil War and the Dred Scott decision, and, creating a human being is only 3/5 a man. 3/5, what kind of nonsense is that? But that's the way it was. That's the procedures, that's the thinking that they had. Was, did we get by it? Yes. Is there a problem since then? Well, yeah. It led in one of the many things that led to the Civil War. These things matter. These actions matter. When you say nobody, a person like Trump or anybody, and Biden can just turn around now and act as a dictator if he wants. He's got the right now. Put Donald Trump in jail if he wants to. He's got the right. He can say it's an official act. Donald Trump created an insurrection. Let's do it. He can do it. And let the courts, after he dies, mince it out. There is immunity. There is no immunity to criminal actions. Many presidents have to take unseemly actions against others, because in their judgment, it needs to be addressed. Assassinations were a part of it, CIA and covert works. That changed because people became wise, people became aware, and there was also fear. People were getting good at this. You just shoot any president, one assassinates another, as it happened in the aristocracies of old. People kill, kill, kill. They don't care. They just want the power. Is that where we're going to end up? Dictators don't end well. They don't end well. This Erdogan guy that Trump totes and Putin that he totes and all these, Kim Jong-un, who he totes so well. I mean, they're second rate now. They're all second rate. The only thing they have is they want to keep their thumb on somebody, and they've been effectively doing it. That's their leadership, vision. That's their leadership overview. We don't want that in our president. We don't want that. There are things that we can do later on to change these things. It's not an end all. And now this thing goes back to the courts, and Trump has all the time in the world, and see what happens with, all these cases that are against him. Protect the man. Protect the man. We're not protecting the country, we're protecting the man. It never was a problem before. It is a problem now because of the man, not because of the issues, not because of the situation that came out of it, but because of the man. And that's what these people are protecting. They really have abused their power. They've abused their common sense. They've abused their moralities. They've done it on many occasions because conservatism is not just going backward. It's conserving the values of right and wrong, of good and bad, those traditions. Not going back to a day when things were bad and say, okay, I'm being conservative because I just want to go back to the bad days when women were abused and domestic violence was quite common. And that's just the way it is. We can change these things. We have the ability to change these things. How? Through our own actions, through our own lives, through our own vote. And you must vote. You must vote to change all this. Is this the end result? Is this done deal? No. There's problems now because of it. Yes. I'm sad to say, and I'm going to see it, and it's really too bad. I didn't really want to have my years faced with this kind of turmoil in a country. I'd prefer just to retire and to just live a, basic life. That's not going to happen. There's going to be sorrow. There's going to be sorrow, and people are going to suffer. And that woman who said, yeah, I love democracy, but I want Trump as a dictator, that kind of delusion will prevail, and it will cause more and more issues within the government. And we won't have decent government. We will have major problems. Won't be tomorrow, but it's a slippery slope, and the slope is getting steeper and steeper. I don't mean to be just all gloom and doom, but this Supreme Court immunity thing was really bogus. You can support it, you can defend whatever. Anything is defendable. Think of the good. This guy can't just go out there and shoot or kill his, and what kills me is, yeah, he can send out SEAL Team 6. Why didn't he go out and do it himself? Oh no, they don't do that. Sully their hands. That's what dictators do. But sometimes you have to do the bad things. Sometimes you have to be not the moral keeper. You have to take, well, things into your own hands as an authority bearer and do what you have to do. Let the consequence follow. Thank you for listening. Have a good day. It's not all bad. It's not all end all. There are good things, bad things. Everything has multiple ways of ending. We never know. But we, I believe, have to go to the good. Always see what the end good is. Not the immediate little benefit that you might have or somebody might have or some tax gig or something, but the benefit to this society and to the world and to ourselves, to our families. What example is this to our families and our children? I wonder. Take care. Thanks for listening. Subscribe, like, all that stuff. Appreciate your listening and your views. Comment if you can. Thank you. Bye for now.